The 1910 oil-on-canvas painting, titled Rouge Portrait of Miss Edith King, created by American painter Maurice Prendergast from the years 1910 to 1913, is a masterpiece. I felt drawn to this painting because of its alluring subject matter, its portrayal of early 20th century fashion, and the saturated color palette used in the portrait. When viewing this piece of art, the viewer may feel what the subject is feeling, which is calm and contemplative. This portrait was done during a vacation the artist and its subject took to the beautiful island of Capri, Italy during the summer of 1910, and through the pastel color palette and small details of the painting, such as the white fan adorned with red roses that Miss King holds in her right hand, as well as the vase of blooming yellow flowers beside her on the table, the viewer can really get a sense of how this day truly felt. The artist behind Le Rouge Portrait of Miss Edith King is Maurice Prendergast, an American Impressionist painter active during the late 1800s and early 1900s. In 1910, at the time in which this portrait was done, Prendergast and his twin brother Charles were actually well acquainted with the subject of this portrait, through their joint work in the artist group The Eight, as well as through their joint involvement in the New York arts community. Prendergast broke boundaries with this painting due to the short rhythmic brushstrokes that he used to create it, which gave it a wistful, fantastical quality rather than naturalistic. Here we see a work of art by realist painter Honoré Daumier, titled The Third-Class Carriage. At the time, works like these that accurately portrayed the troubles of lower-class people were what was considered valid. Impressionist artists such as Maurice Prendergast helped to change the standards for what could be considered valid art. Prendergast showcased the idea that art did not need to be naturalistic to be considered valid, even if critics thought otherwise. It also showed that the emotional aspect of a work can be just as valuable as its physical characteristics. As a result of the Impressionist movement, more abstract forms of art began to be considered valid. For example, the Impressionist movement later led to the creation of the Cubism and Futurism art movements. In my eyes, Le Rouge Portrait of Miss Edith King is truly a masterpiece. I think the painting exemplifies a masterful use of color and establishes an undeniable sense of calm and tranquility. I am also drawn to the work because of its context in American culture and society at the time. During the early 20th century in New York City, many artists were preparing for an exhibition that would change the course of modern art. The Armory Show of 1913 changed the course of art forever by inspiring young artists to create the things they might have been scared to otherwise. And just like Le Rouge Portrait of Miss Edith King, artwork displayed at the Armory Show by artists such as Duchamp and Matisse showed that art can still be considered valid even if it is quite abstract and even unsettling. Maurice Prendergast and Le Rouge Portrait of Miss Edith King, along with its exemplary use of color and poignant emotion, helped to bring about a new generation of art, one that was more inclusive, diverse, and meaningful than any that had preceded it.